They don't teach this in school. They don't teach this in college. And if you wait for the world to hand you this knowledge, you'll be dismissed, ignored, and walked over your entire life. But once you learn the truth, everything changes. Most men aren't weak because they want to be. They're weak because no one ever showed them how to become dangerous. You'll learn how any average man can unlock real, lasting power. Not through force, not through faking it, but by developing 3 hidden traits most people never notice until it's too late. You want to be the kind of man who walks into a room and people can feel it. The kind who doesn't need to raise his voice to command respect, who chooses peace, but is fully capable of war. But before you can become that man, there's one uncomfortable truth you have to accept. Power doesn't come from doing big things. It's built quietly, through small disciplines, day by day, when no one's watching. Let's break it down. Why do some men feel invisible, even when they work hard, do the right thing, and try their best? Because raw effort without discipline is like a knife without a point. It won't cut. The most dangerous men you'll ever meet aren't loud. They're not running around trying to prove themselves. They're the ones who master micro-discipline, the smallest, consistent actions that transform character from the inside out. Wake up early, controlling your urges, keeping your word even when it costs you. Each act is a brick, and over time, you build an unshakable identity. See, average men chase motivation. Dangerous men build systems. But discipline alone doesn't make you dangerous. You could be the most consistent man alive and still be dismissed if you can't handle this next skill, one that can influence a room without raising your voice. What makes a man's words powerful, even if he's quiet, even if he's not the biggest guy in the room? Simple, courageous, vulnerable, assertive communication. Insecure men hide, weak men blame, but a dangerous man, he speaks, not to dominate, but to reveal truth. And the truth is what scares others. He doesn't bark, he doesn't over-explain. He says what needs to be said, with clarity, strength, and honesty. It's courage over comfort. Saying no when it's easier to people please. Admitting mistakes instead of covering them up. Setting boundaries that protect his peace. This kind of communication isn't aggression, it's authority. Because when your voice comes from grounded truth, not fear, not ego, people listen. And ironically, the most intimidating words often come from the man who doesn't speak much at all. Which leads us to the final, rarest, and most underestimated trait. So what's more powerful than words? What makes even confident men uneasy when they see it in someone else? Let's talk about the hidden power of silence. Why does a man who controls his tongue command more respect than a man who always has something to say? Because silence is control, and control is power. A dangerous man doesn't reveal anything. He doesn't argue to prove he's right. He doesn't need validation through endless conversation. He speaks when it matters, and listens when others don't. This kind of presence creates mystery. It makes people second-guess what you know, what you're thinking, and what you're capable of. You become unpredictable. And here's the real secret. When you're silent by choice, not because you're afraid, it's terrifying to the insecure. Because people blabble when they don't know how to act. But you know, and you act only when you want. They can't read you. They can't manipulate you. And they can't control the frame. Silence is not weakness. Silence is patience, awareness, timing. In negotiations, it wins deals. In conflict, it creates space. In life, it builds influence. So let's circle back. You don't need to be rich, tall, or born with perfect genetics to become a dangerous man. You need small actions, repeated with consistency. You need a voice that speaks from the core, and you need to know when to say nothing at all. Because true strength doesn't yell, it doesn't brag, it doesn't even announce itself. It arrives quietly and changes the room. Now ask yourself, which of these 3 traits do you need to sharpen most? And more importantly, when will you start? You've made it this far. That already puts you ahead of most. Just remember, change happens one step at a time. Keep showing up, and you'll be shocked at what's possible. If you want to keep building this mindset and master the habits that make the hard things easier, click the playlist on screen right now. Because becoming dangerous starts with doing the simple things others avoid.